Welcome to the Market of One. Before we start, let me tell you what you're going to walk out of here with. By the end of this, you're going to have a one-page map of your own firm, 9 numbers in your own hand that show you exactly why a good recruiter like you is still one of 5 names on the list. And more than that, you're going to know the single thing, the one thing that's holding the whole firm back. Most owners have never seen this map once in their careers. You're going to draw yours today and see how to double, even treble your revenue and increase profit without more headcount and more babysitting. Now, who is this for? Wait, if you run a solo or a small boutique search firm, you're good at the job, you're billing decent money, but you're stuck, fighting on price, maybe starting every month at 0, doing the tasks and work of 10 people. This is definitely for you. If you want to build a 50-person agency, it isn't. Quick word on me. And then we get into it. 15 years, more than 2,000 search firms. UK, the States, Europe, Australia, and consulted with and led many of the top recruitment and search coaches you probably have heard of. Either way, I'll tell you the rest as we go. Here's the one thing I need from you. Get a pen, get your workbook, because this is not a webinar you watch. It's one you do. You're going to score your own firm real time as we go. And you're going to be honest because nobody sees it but you. If you just sit and watch, you'll get nothing. But pen in hand, shut down the noise around you. You'll get the clearest picture of your firm you've ever had. Stay with me to the end because the thing most owners think is their problem, it's almost never the real one. I'll show you why and how to fix it. Okay, I'm going to do 2 things in the next half hour or so. First, I'm going to show you the journey, where you actually are right now as a search firm owner and what the path ahead looks like, because I guarantee you think you know where you are. And 9 out of 10 times you are wrong. And second, I'm going to walk you through the key pieces of the machine, how you get known, how you get paid, and how you get free. The steps, the levels it takes to build a firm of one that out earns a firm with 10 times the headcount and 10 times the stress. I've done this for me, and I've done it for over 2,000 search and recruitment firms in the UK, the States, Europe, Australia over the last 15 years. And I've got firms at every level of the mountain I'm about to draw, from owners climbing out of the bum fight to owners sat right at the top. So I know what each level looks like from the inside, not from a textbook. And before all that, I came up around the trading floors, Nomura, Societe Generale, JP Morgan, building the systems where if one part breaks, the whole thing loses money. And everybody can see it on a screen. That matters, and you'll see why later. What's interesting, growing a search firm looks a lot like this when you think about the phases involved. We all start at the bottom of the mountain. Every recruiter starts at 0. No clients, no name, no track record as an owner. And the job is to climb as high up that mountain as you can, and you are constrained at each level by a new enemy to your business success. After 15 years inside 2,000 of these firms, I can tell you the mountain has 6 levels. I can tell you which level you're on within about 3 questions, and I can tell you exactly what breaks at each one. So draw this with me. 6 levels, bottom to top. This is the climb from comparable to the Market of One. And here's the odd thing about search firms. They grow in jumps, not lines. 0 to 100 grand is one journey. 100 to 250 is another. 250 to 500, 500 to 1 million, 1 million and beyond. 5 jumps. And every time you land on one of those numbers, something in the model breaks. And the thing that breaks is never what you think it is. I don't know where you are on this mountain right now, but I guarantee you're already looking at one of these levels going, that one's me. Hold that thought. I'll get to you, I promise. Okay, level 1. Startup, 0, day 1. You've left the agency or you've left the corporate hellhole. You've got a laptop, a phone, and a non-compete. You're hoping nobody reads too closely. It's exciting. You're free. You've got this idea that you're going to do it better than the place you just left. Good place to begin. Not a great place to stay. I'm going to skip past it because I'm assuming you're beyond that now. Next, we have level 2, survival. The road to your first 100 grand in billings. You'll take any role from any client at any fee because the mortgage doesn't care about your standards. You're on every job board. You're sending CVs at 10 o'clock at night. And when a client says, we're also giving this to 2 other agencies, you smile and say, no problem. Getting through survival is the first milestone. That's the point where you can say, this is my main thing now. I'm a real recruitment firm. Level 3. And listen carefully, because this is where most of you reside and it's killing you slowly. Okay, same. 100 to 250 grand. On paper, this looks like stability. You've got clients, you've got repeatable business. People at the school gate think you're doing well, but it isn't stable at all. You know it because you're living in it. You're one bad month from being back on the floor. 2 clients go quiet on a Wednesday, and the deal you did have falls over the day before contracts because the counteroffer was accepted and nobody told you. You're back under the line because the work isn't really yours. You're on a list. One of 5 names, working roles you've got maybe 20, possibly 25% chance of ever being paid on. Why is this level called same? Because that's what the client sees. You're the same as everyone else out there. Same pitch, same promises, same CVs, and same means comparable, but the most expensive word in your business. Up one more, we have level 4, slave, 250 to 500. The good biller, from the outside, this looks like you're winning. Everyone goes, wow, how are you doing that? And the honest answer, the one you'd only say to another owner after the second pint, is by working like an animal. The money's there, sort of anyway, but you're the marketing department, the sales department, the delivery team, the finance function, and the customer service desk. If you stop, the whole thing stops, money included. And the bit you don't say out loud, it scares you. You've become a slave to your own machine. That's not a business. That's a hamster wheel with a profit and loss account attached. And right here at slave, this is the bit I really need you to hear. The industry offers you exactly 2 doors. Door 1, stay where you are, keep grinding. Hope it somehow gets better while you do more of the same. Door 2, build a team, hire some grads, become a manager, scale the hours, spend your days babysitting people who bill half what you do and leave after 18 months with your clients in their pocket. Everything the industry tells you is selling you door 2. And most of you want neither door. I know this, as I have worked with 2,000 of you. You don't have the time, the will, or the want to run a team. You like the work. You're good at recruitment. You're good at headhunting. You just want the work to pay what it's actually worth and stop owning your life. So there's a third door. And the third door is the top 2 levels of this mountain. This is level 5, sought after. This is where authority arrives. You own a lane, the market knows you own it, and the climb changes gear. Clients begin coming to you instead of you chasing them. You're paid up front and the fee stops being a negotiation. Same hours you're working right now, double, even triple the return on them. One warning about this level. The name gets you here, but the name alone will not get you to the summit, because a name without a machine behind it is still just you working. You can't 10x the firm by 10xing your hours. And level 6, singular, the market of one, the summit. A firm so known in its lane, so trusted, so incomparable that clients can't believe it's one person. A firm of 1 that out-earns a firm of 10. High margin, free. The only name. That's the destination we're working towards. 2 lessons about this mountain before we find you on it. First, at every level, something breaks. The model that got you to one level is the exact model that strands you at the next. The hustle that got you through survival is precisely what's keeping you stuck at same. You cannot outwork the mountain. The model has to change at every level. Second, you have to pick the strategy for your level. Owners up at slave are still running the plays that got them out of survival. Gauge the level first, then pick the move. Okay, before I carry on, I know how busy you are. Quick one. If you've already seen enough from my YouTube or LinkedIn and you want to find out a little bit more about what it looks like to work together on this, you don't have to wait till the end. It is not throwing a load of videos at you. It is implementation done with you. On the 9 engines I'm about to show you personally, you and I, there's a button just below that says, click here for details. Click it, answer a few quick questions, takes about a minute, and I'll personally send you a simple document with what working together looks like. That's it. You have a read, and if it's for you, you'll know what to do. So let me walk you through the Market of One model. This is the quickest way I know to take a search firm from comparable, the most expensive word in your business, to uncomparable. We start with the goal. Because before I show you any mechanics, we need to be aligned on outcomes. And if what I'm about to say doesn't connect with you, genuinely close the tab, find someone who will help you build a team, and I wish you well. My goal for you is not a bigger agency. My goal for you is to become the market of one, the chosen one, with more revenue, higher fees, simplicity, and much more profit. In the old days, you had to choose. Either you stayed a one-man band, sort of free, but with a ceiling, mainly panic and stressed, or you built an empire, headcount, office, management meetings, payroll on your chest every month. Those days are gone. The tools exist now. The model exists now for one person or one person and a researcher to run a firm that bills more than a 10-seat agency. At margins, that agency owner can only dream about, in hours that leave you a life. Every business you build shapes your life, whether you think about it or not. I made every mistake over the years scaling. I've seen firsthand what it really takes to grow real numbers. The only question is what life and future it gives you, and it will look different for each of you. Some of you want 300-400 grand school run every day, never miss a sports day. I've got a client, Ken, who tripled his revenue with us. Triple. Same desks, same hours, 3 times the money. Some of you want to go to high 6, 7 figures and beyond. That's on the table too. Laura's on exactly that road. One person, 100% retained, fees doubled. Clients coming to her as she was the clear niche leader. And some of you, like Jonathan, just wanted to be the name in your market, the one clients ring first. And the money followed the name like it always does. So whichever version is yours, it's a market of one when 3 things are true. 3 outcomes, the greens, and we go after them in this exact order because each one pays for the next. Number 1, authority. You're the recruiter of choice in your lane, the go-to. People know your name before you ring them. Number 2, money. You're paid up front, premium fees that hold. Nobody grinding you down 20 or even 15%. Predictable revenue you can see coming. Number 3, freedom. The firm runs on a machine, not on your adrenaline. Higher margins, days off that don't cost you money, no team to manage. The version where, when the day comes, you close the door, lock the key and walk away. And until that day, the business funds your family life instead of eating it. Next up, authority, money, freedom, in that order. Here's my question, and please take a real answer in your head right now. Whether it's, I want the lean 300 grand life machine, or I want a 7-figure firm, either way. If name plus money plus freedom is the goal, this is the conversation worth having. Now, why aren't you there since these times of AI and noise have changed the game? Let's talk about what's in the way. So there are 3 things that get in the way of that firm, 3 problems. And after 2,000 firms, I can tell you it's never a 4th thing. It's always one of these 3, usually 2 of them. Even some have the full house. There's a name problem, there's a money problem, and there's a time problem. These are the reds, the barriers that have stopped the growth, the higher fees, the time for holidays. Okay, red number 1 first. You're one of 5 for sale signs. You've seen a house on a street with 5 for sale boards outside it. What does that house look like? Desperate. That's you on a multi-agency role. You're just another message in the hiring manager's inbox, and half the time you're not even talking to the hiring manager. You're pitching HR, who will pass your pitch along next to 4 identical ones, another CV factory. And here's the thing that should make you angry. You're as good as anyone in your market. You know you are, but the client can't see it because from where they're sitting, you and the other 4 are the same. Same position in the market, same signals, same promises. When you're identical, you're comparable. And that's the most expensive word in your business. So next we have red number 2, the bum fight. Because you're the same as everyone else, every role is a race to the bottom. Fastest finger first against 3 other agencies and the internal team. You do 100% of the work for a 20-25% chance of being paid. Sit with that. 3/4 of everything you do this year earns you nothing. Not a smaller fee, 0. Or the client grinds your fee, the other agency does it for 15, and you submit and agree because what's your alternative? Then the candidate gets counter-offered, or the client puts a pin in it and weeks of work go in the bin. You're often fighting with 4 similar other dogs in the fight for the same scraps. And even when you win, the scrap got smaller on the way down. Next, red number 3, the hamster wheel. You're the owner and the manager and the recruiter and the biller and the customer service desk. If you pause, it stops. The money tap stops. Every month you start at 0. The first of the month, that knot in your stomach. And the 28th is worse than the first. That's the day the deal you'd already spent in your head slips to next quarter. You can't take a proper family holiday because the firm flatlines the second you look away. 82% of recruiters report chronic stress. And honestly, I'm surprised it's not higher. So no name, no control of the money, no time, that's what we're here to fix. If any one of those landed, and I know some of you flinched, then let's talk about the way out. So then, this is how we get out. 3 engines stacked in a locked order, and each one kills a red and unlocks a green. Engine 1, the bottom tier, get known. The get known engine kills the for sale signs, and it produces authority. And we know it's working when clients know your name before you ring them. Engine 2, the middle tier, get paid. Get paid kills the bum fight, and it produces money, working when you're paid up front and the fee holds without a fight. Engine 3, the top tier, get free. Get free kills the hamster wheel, and it produces freedom, working when the firm runs for a fortnight without you and the revenue doesn't reset to 0 on the first. Get known, get paid, get free, and the order is locked. You cannot run them backwards. You can't get paid premium money while you're one of 5 names. Nobody pays up front for a commodity. Get known gets you clients and candidates of higher quality and easier. The engine of getting paid gets you higher fees and a system of working on roles which close and with candidates that don't ghost. And getting free allows you to have the system, AI, and name in place to grow quality, not quantity of roles and placeable talent. When all 3 are running, something happens that most of you haven't felt since your first year on a desk. The firm gets simple again. That's what we're after. Now, inside each engine, there are 3 projects, 9 projects total. 1 + 2 + 3 equals authority. 4 + 5 + 6 equals money. 7 + 8 + 9 equals freedom. And here's the most important thing I'll say in this whole section. The point is not for you to learn a model and admire a triangle. The point is, we're going to use these 9 projects like a scan of your firm, an MRI. When a machine leaks money, you don't guess. You put it on a diagnostic, and the broken part lights up red. That's what we're doing to your firm. So here's how it works. For each of the 9, I'll tell you what it is. I'll show you what it looks like when it's working, and then I'll ask you one question, and you're going to score yourself like a traffic light. Green, real strength, we're solid. Yellow, it's okay, but it could use an upgrade. Red, this is a problem, and I know it. Score each one as we go. By the end, you'll have a map of your firm that most owners have never once seen. First up, Project 1, own niche. And this one exists for one reason, to make you impossible to compare with other firms. Here's the rule, and it's almost maths. The narrower the lane, the bigger the name. Narrower the lane, the bigger name. The wider you go, the smaller you get before you have a heart attack. Yes, you can have multiple of these. The tool we use is the moat map. We map where you've already got an unfair advantage, and we pin the one lane narrow enough that you can be the dominant player in it. That's the how. It takes, I do a bit of everything, and it turns it into one thing. There's only one logical call. Now a great recruiter who cares about her clients, Laura. We ran her moat map, picked the lane, went fully retained, and her fees doubled. Same Laura, same skills. There was just nothing left to compare her to under the hood when she shared her engine with her clients. And we created a new candidate channel, which meant as the new talent came on the market, she had already engaged with them before they had qualified and left medical training. She was the market of one to clients and talent. So first one, are you the obvious name in one narrow lane? Or are you a generalist blending in with everyone else? If you own a lane and everyone in it knows it, that's a green. If you've sort of got a specialism, but the market doesn't really know you for one thing, that's a yellow. And if the honest answer is the market doesn't know me for anything in particular, that's a red. Not because you're a bad recruiter, because you're an undefined one and you're in the majority. So don't feel bad about it. Take a note. I'll mark mine red on the example. because for most of this room, that's the truth. Next up, project 2, build name. Once you own the lane, the market has to know you own it. And here's the rule, and it's a brutal one. Unknown and brilliant loses to known and average every single time. The best recruiter nobody's heard of loses to the average one everybody has. Now, before you've grown, this is not about becoming a LinkedIn influencer. It's not dancing on camera. It's credibility everywhere your buyers look. The tool is the everywhere engine, your point of view in front of your buyers week in, week out, until your face is everywhere in that niche and your reputation arrives before you have that first engagement. A great example of this is Darren, FinTech. A member of my group followed the Market of One strategy and built his name in his lane, and I saw it for myself. He was over speaking in the UK at an event the same time I was holding a members mastermind, and he got his flight paid for. This is a recruiter who got flown in, expenses paid to speak. That's what owning your lane and building your name can do for you. And that's the kind of thing we do in the boardroom. Although the usual is leadership from your keyboard, not on a stage. Next one, when you ring a prospect in your lane, do they already know who you are? If they're saying, yeah, I've seen you everywhere, that's a green. If your own clients and candidates love you, but the wider market hasn't got a clue you exist, that's a yellow. And if you're a stranger on every single call you make, that's a red. Make a note of that. I'll call mine yellow on the example. Known to your clients, yet invisible to your market. Is that you? Now, project 3, pull clients, lane owned, name known. Now you turn it into a machine. Here's the rule. Every lead you chase is a lead that can compare you. Every lead that comes to you can't. Chase. And you're on the list. Get chased, and there is no list of 5. The tool is the inbound pull, an engine that has hand raisers coming to you every week without you chasing a soul. Because when a client comes to you off the name, they're not putting you on a short list with 4 others. There's no list. There's just you. Next, last month, how many serious conversations came to you off the name without you chasing? If it's happening every week and you could prove it from your inbox, that's a green. The odd referral here and there, that's a yellow. And if the honest answer is everything I've got I chased, that's a red. Write down as a red if that is you, because for nearly everyone, the pipeline is 100% chased. AI is making it more noisy. But being the market of one with your name is your security. So look at engine 1. Own the niche, build the name, pull the clients in. And what have you got there? You've got authority. You're not one of 5 for sale signs anymore. You're the only sign on the street, the only one. The first red is dead. And now, only now, can we talk about money. Up next, engine 2. The problem we're solving here is the bum fight, the no-win, no-fee casino. The outcome is money. Project 4, read pain. This is the single biggest difference between a vendor and an advisor. A vendor pitches. They say, we have a great database, great network, CVs over by Friday. And the moment those words leave your mouth, the client knows which shelf to put you on, the shelf with the other 4. An advisor doesn't pitch. Here's the rule. Nobody haggles with the doctor. The tool is the pain diagnostic, the discovery conversation about their commercial pain. How long's the seat been empty? What's it costing you a month, really? What happened with the last 2 agencies you gave this to? You run it like a doctor reading a scan, and you become the first person who ever told them the truth about their own hiring. Hell of a man, Brandt is the proof. The diagnostic is what got him to fully retained and made him the market of one for US middle office. End of year 1, he bought his partner a brand new Mercedes to celebrate and shared it inside our group. In his own words, he said he wished he had drank the Kool-Aid earlier. We made a bet that if he followed my plan for the next 90 days, he would get his target. He lost the bet and he bought me a Peroni to one of our events in London as he lost our gents agreement. Mind you, the bet was a case of Peroni, not 1 bottle. Anyway, this bet came following one of our one-to-one sessions. That came out of his audit, because that's the first thing we do in the boardroom. I assess your machine, from leads to pitch, to delivery, to repeat business, to fees. Next one, on your last 5 new client conversations, did you pitch your service or did you read their pain? If you run a genuine discovery conversation and clients regularly say, no one's ever shown me that, that's a green. If you ask some decent questions, but it still slides into, here's what we do, that's a yellow. If your opener still contains "this is how long we have been in business," that's a red. I'll be generous on the example and call it yellow. If red for you, mark it as you see fit. You must be considered the only one who can fix this issue they have, the one who is the leader in that specific field. Project 5, win up front. Once you're the advisor and only once you're seen as the leader in that niche, the go-to authority, you can change the deal itself. Here's the rule. No win, no fee is the only job on earth where you do 100% of the work for a 1 in 5 shot of being paid. Say that out loud. Say it slowly and tell me why you'd ever sign it. The tool is the upfront play. Every mandate moved to an engagement fee or a retainer. Money down before you source and holding your number when they push. Because dropping 20 to 15 isn't 5% off. It's a quarter of your fee. Gone. It comes with the word-for-word answers to every objection. We don't pay retainers. What if you don't deliver? We handle everyone. Because when you're positioned right and you read the pain first, the client wants you locked in, not the other way round. Jonathan's the proof. He's now 100% retained. Paid to start on every single search. Not one speculative CV leaving his desk. And that was the first thing we fixed in the boardroom. Next, of the mandates you've taken on in the last 6 months, how many had money on the table before you sourced a single candidate and held their full fee all the way to the invoice? If it's most of them, that's a green. If you've won it once or twice, but you daren't ask your bread and butter clients, that's a yellow. If the answer is none, and the very idea makes your stomach tighten, that's a red. And that red is costing you more than every other box on this page combined. Take a note for your own position right now. This is the problem box for 9 firms out of 10. Most are red. A cash killer. Project 6. Fill. And fill fast. This is the bit that makes the upfront fee bulletproof. Because the second a client hears, "pay me upfront," there's one fear behind their eyes. What if I pay you and you don't deliver? Here's the rule. You don't get to charge like an advisor unless you deliver like one. The tool is the talent drop. Delivery so tight you drop a short list of 3 that fit, not a flood of 15. The contingent model makes you spray 8, 10, 15 CVs to a hire because you can't afford deep work on a 1 in 5 bet, but paid up front and exclusive, the numbers flip. The best firms I work with run 3 or 4 CVs to a placement. Some are at barely more than 1, and 93% of the people they offer turn up on day 1. Ken's the proof. Tight shortlist, fewer candidates, better quality, and his fees held because the delivery backed up the price. Inbound like an advisor, paid like one, and deliver like one. The go-to for clients and candidates. The market of one for both sides of the deal. So, when you take a role on, how clean is your delivery? How few CVs to a placement? How fast to fill? How reliably do your offers turn into bums on seats? If you run a tight shortlist, fill fast, and your people show up, that's a green. If you deliver, but it takes a flood of CVs and a fair bit of luck, that's a yellow. If you're spraying 15 and praying, that's a red. Mark it as you see fit. I'll call the example yellow. So there's engine 2. Read the pain, win it up front, fill fast. When those 3 run together, you've got money. Paid before you start at fees that hold, delivered so well the upfront fee never feels like a risk. The bum fight is over, not because you won the fight, because you left the kennel. The dogs can keep the scraps. Engine 3, get free. And before I walk you through it, here's the bridge, because these 3 only make sense together. You can only stay lean and free if deals stop leaking and revenue stops resetting. The hamster wheel isn't powered by your work ethic, it's powered by leaks and resets. Project 7, ditch headcount. The whole industry has one answer to your time problem. Hire, build the team, scale, and you've resisted it and you've probably felt guilty about it. Don't. Your instinct is right. You've done the maths at 2 a.m., 4 or 5 salaries, the management, the babysitting, someone leaving after 18 months with your clients in their pocket, and the profits barely moved and your stress has doubled. There's even a name for where that road leads, the valley of death. The tool is the one-person machine, systems carrying the load instead of bodies, the research, the sourcing, the admin, the follow-ups done in the background. And hear me clearly, because this is not a session about AI. The tech is not the point. Yes, each of these engines has its AI component within the boardroom program. The point is the life, the school run, the fortnight away where the firm doesn't flatline, days off that don't cost you money. Next, If you took 2 weeks off tomorrow, properly off, phone in the drawer, what happens to the firm? If it keeps moving because the systems carry it, that's a green. If it limps along and you come back to a fortnight of fires, that's a yellow. If it flatlines the moment you stop, if the firm is just you in a trench coat, that's a red. And I already know what most on this call just wrote. Project 8, own deal. Let's talk about where your money actually dies. It doesn't die at the start of a search, it dies at the end. The candidate ghosts after the third interview. The counteroffer lands the day before contracts. We've decided to put a pin in it. Here's the rule. The client runs the timeline and time kills all deals. So you take the timeline. The tool is the deal lock. You run it from brief to start date, feedback locked to deadlines, interviews compressed, the counteroffer handled at week 1, not at offer stage when it's too late, the candidate close managed all the way to their first day in the chair. A deal is a system, and systems fail at the joints. We find your joints and we bolt them shut. Mike's the proof. His offer stage runs on automation now. The follow-ups, the check-ins, the momentum, none of it waits for him to be at a desk. The deals stop dying because the process stops sleeping. Next one. Of the offers you got out in the last year, how many made it to a bum in the seat? If it's nearly all of them because you run the process, that's a green. If you lose one now and then to a counter or a ghosting, that's a yellow. If offer stage feels like a coin flip, that's a red. I am going to call the example yellow. Everyone's lost one to a counter this year. I'm sure you have. Okay, project 9, bank repeats. The last project and the one that kills the cruelest thing in this industry, the reset, the first of the month. Everything you build last month, gone, back to zero. You have that knot in your stomach, and its evil twin, the 28th, when the deal you'd banked the whole month on slips to next quarter. Here's the rule. You should never have to win the same client twice. The tool is the repeat machine. Your best clients turn from one-off transactions into ongoing mandates, plus a referral engine that runs on a system, not on luck. So on the first, you're not staring at zero. You're starting from a floor of committed work, and everything you win on top is gravy. Jonathan's was there. Came in with all 3 reds burning. Now he runs this exact diagnostic on his own firm every quarter. Repeat clients, referrals flowing, every month starting above the line. Last one. On the first of last month, how much revenue was already committed before you made a single call? If you started with a real floor, repeat mandates, referrals queued, that's a green. Loyal clients but nothing contracted, that's a yellow. And if you started at zero, like you have every month for years, that's a red. That's why it's Project 9 and not Project 1. So there's engine 3. Ditch the headcounts, own the deal, bank the repeats. When those 3 run together, you've got freedom. A firm that moves without you, deals that land instead of leaking, and a first of the month that starts above zero. The hamster wheel doesn't slow down. It stops. And a firm of 1 runs like a firm of 10. So look down at what you've drawn. 9 boxes. That's a map of your firm, the scan I promised, that no one, including you, has ever seen before. Some greens, hopefully, some yellows, and some reds. Thank you for doing it honestly. I've seen a member wince, sat right opposite me. This is the reality of most recruitment firms today. And those for sale signs you counted earlier, every one of them maps straight onto a red box. That's not a coincidence. That's the diagnosis, agreeing with itself. Now, one last job, the one this whole session was for. Find your lowest score, the reddest box on the page. Circle it. You've just found your constraint, the one thing holding everything else hostage. Because here's how machines work, and your firm is a machine. It doesn't run at the speed of its strongest part. It runs at the speed of its weakest one. You could pour effort into the other 8 boxes all year, and most owners do exactly that, and the firm won't move because the constraint doesn't care how hard you work around it. Fix the circle box and everything downstream of it moves at once. But here's the catch, and I'm going to be straight with you. You can't fully read your own machine from inside it. Nobody can. You built it. Every red on that page has a story attached. That's just my market. That's just how my clients are. I've tried that, and you believe those stories because they're yours. The person who built the business is the last one to see the fault, not because they're not sharp as a tack, because they're too close. That's the bit I do. 15 years inside more than 2,000 recruitment and search firms, I read yours from the outside, and I tell you which box goes first. And before that, I came up around the trading floors. Nomura, Society General, JP Morgan. Building the systems where if one part breaks, the whole thing loses money. and everyone sees it on a screen. So I know search like a recruiter, and I read a firm like an engineer. That's how you find the one fault you're too close to see. That's what took Ken to triple. That's what made Laura the only name in her lane. That's what put Jonathan on 100% retained. You and me, on your firm. Implementation done together, not an endless course. Results, you getting paid, quickly. That's the boardroom. So here's the next step, and it's deliberately simple. There's a button just below that says click here for details. Click it, and you'll answer a few quick questions. Your firm, your niche, your billings, the box you circled, and the one question you most want answered. Takes about a minute. And here's what happens then. It's not a curated set of materials. It's not a funnel. I personally take what you've just diagnosed, your 9 boxes, your constraint, and I send you back a read on your firm. From me. What I'd look at first, which box I'd actually start with, where I think your real constraint is hiding. Because remember, the one you circled is your best guess from inside the machine. That read is the thing nobody's ever given you, and it's free. You read it like the advisor to advisor conversation this whole session's been. If it's for you, you'll know what to do. And if it's not, you've still got the map in your hands, and you're miles ahead of every recruiter who never drew one. But do it now, while the pen's still in your hand, and the reds are still staring back at you. Because this time tomorrow, you'll be back in the bum fight, and the map goes in a drawer. So you know what to do. Click the button, tell me which box you circled, and I'll see you in your inbox. A firm of 1 that out earns a firm of 10. Get known, get paid, get free. See you on the inside.